Hello, my lovely friends, it's Margaret, and June 30th is officially passed, so that means I can now film the mid-year book freakout tag. Welcome back to my channel. Today, obviously, we are doing the mid-year book freakout tag. I was not tagged to do this, and I don't remember who the original tag was by. I just see this floating around every year on BookTube, and so I will just post a few of my friends who have done it and people I follow down in the description box. If I can find the original tag in one of those, I will post that as well, so just make sure you check out a couple of other people's. It's always interesting to see what people have read. Yes, that's what we do here on BookTube. See what people have read during the year and what their favorite books are. So before we get into the actual tag, I just want to give you some real quick stats for what I've done with my reading. Nothing fancy, nothing exciting, just kind of what my reading year has been like. So far this year, I have read 41 books. That comes to, hold on, 15,822 pages, or 385 pages per book, and my average rating has been 3.9 stars. Also, if you can hear the fan, you usually can't while I am talking, but if you can hear the fan, I'm not even gonna apologize because I live in Florida and you do what you have to in order not to turn into a melted puddle of milk. First question is, what is the best book you have read so far in 2021? I am going to say Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. This one just really, like, threw me for a loop. Like, I was into it. It had all of the tropes I liked. It had angst. It had romantic tension, just a whole bunch of stuff going on there. Had a love triangle that I don't hate, which is surprising. And then that ending came in and I was just like, Tracy Deonn is a master storyteller. I just absolutely adored this book. It was so good. I read this thing in January, y'all, and I am still raving about it, and I still have not read anything that quite compares. Cassandra Clare tried. She tried, and then she failed me, so, but we'll talk about that in a minute. If you haven't read Legendborn or never heard of it before, this is about Bree. Her mother has recently died a few months ago, and so she is in this early college program trying to process that grief, trying to kind of separate herself from all of those memories, and she ends up getting drawn into this magical society based around Arthurian legend when she sees someone fighting this weird creature, like mystical creature, and no one else can see it, just her. And she thinks she's crazy for a hot minute, and then she realizes that there are a couple of other people on campus who can see these mythical creatures. One of those words. Through these magical creatures, she finds out about this secret society that has these things called Merlins, and in doing so, in the journey getting there, she ends up unlocking some memories about the night her mother died, which makes her start to question what really happened the night her mother died. Question number 2 is, what is the best sequel that you have read so far this year? I, to no one's surprise, could not choose, so I have 2. The first one is Sibylla Byrne by James S. A. Corey. This is the 4th book in the Expanse series. If you've never heard of the Expanse, it's basically a found family that's running across the galaxy because literally every major organization in the galaxy wants to murder them. Long story short, it is a really interesting, fun sci-fi. It has my new favorite relationship in it. I would say that this is like the second strongest in the series. My favorite so far is still Caliban's War, and these, both the 3rd and the 4th, have been missing the main plot line that I really, well, not missing the main plot line, but the plot line that was my favorite in seasons 3 and 4. They are assigned to different characters in the book. The show obviously is trying to keep things closer with the cast, and you can, you know, you don't have to pay actors when you're writing a book. So this is a really good series if you're trying to get into sci-fi, if you've been thinking about exploring it, and you want something that's accessible, that's not going to be super heavy on the detail and the world building. It's going to be more focused on the characters and the plot, and like this is kind of like a murder mystery. Not murder mystery, but there's a whole mystery that surrounds the first book. So, the other book that I just need to mention, give a passing mention to, because it was one of my most anticipated releases of the year, was Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare. I adored this book, and it also made me so angry. This is the second series in, or the second book. This is the second book in the Last Hours? The Last Hours series. It follows James and Lucy Herondale, Cordelia Carstairs, Matthew Fairchild, Christopher Lightwood, and Thomas Lightwood, and I think this one also brings in Anna as well. Lots of Lightwoods. So many. How are there so many Lightwoods in? Never mind. I do know how there are so many in this and there aren't in that makes sense. Never. Ignore that train of thought. I absolutely adored this. This gave me all of the romantic angst that I was wanting after that big reveal at the end of the first book. It was fantastic and almost everything I wanted. Question number 3 is, what is a new release that you haven't read yet and you'd like to? I've got a couple answers for this. The first one, obviously, is my most anticipated release of the year, Witch Shadow by Susan Dennard. Technically, by the time you are watching this, I will probably have finished it. Technically, by the time that I am filming this, I have started it. But, like, talking about January through June, I just need to know what happens with Merrick and Safi and Isolde and Edwin. I need to know. Is Merrick gonna be okay? No one in this series is going to be okay, let's be honest. They are all going to need therapy. Another new release I'd really like to get to this year at some point, in fact I have plans to get to it at some point, is Where the Rhythm Takes You by Sarah Doss. This is a persuasion? I think it's persuasion. It is a Jane Austen retelling. I'm pretty sure it's persuasion set in Tobago. I don't need to know much else other than that. No, I don't. I just will read it. The final one. This is a retelling of Jane Eyre. Rachel, why did... Anyways, the final one that I'd really like to get to by the end of the year is The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins, which I did not realize was a Jane Eyre retelling. I knew it was like a thriller or a murder mystery, something like that type of novel. I'm not sure what to do with this information, so just admire the pretty cover and we'll be back with the next question. Question number 4 is, what is your most anticipated release for the second half of 2021? Obviously, since I've already talked about Sibylla Byrne, we're gonna have to mention Leviathan Falls. Will I be caught up in the series by the time that that comes out? I don't know, but it is the 9th and final book in the Expanse series. I'm really worried about these last 3 books because something happens. I know what happens in the 6th book. So I know that, like, there's some chance that book 7 I'm gonna go into and people I love will not be there any longer. I'm very worried. I am this worried about going from book 6 to book 7. Imagine how worried I am about book 9. And then the other one, which I didn't realize was coming out this year, is Daughter of the Deep by Rick Riordan. It is the new Rick Riordan book, and you know me, I love me some Rick Riordan. So how many times can take a shot every time I say Rick Riordan's name? Just, I have no idea what this is about. None whatsoever. It was just on my TBR the minute I realized it existed. Question number 5 is, what was the biggest disappointment of the year so far? I don't know that it's going to get, well, I don't know. It was a difficult choice, but we're going to go with The Once and Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow. If you want to know why I didn't like this, I have a vlog where, like, most of the vlog is just me talking about why I didn't like this. I thought her first book, The 10,000 Doors of January, was absolutely beautifully written. It had some representation problems. I was hoping she would have listened to that feedback and come back. And I will say, I do feel she listened to some extent to the fact that there are certain stories that you need to not tell because the people whose stories those are, they're not getting the opportunity to tell them. We just don't live in an equitable society where people have equal opportunities for being published. And so I think, you know, you do have a responsibility to know which stories are in your lane. I feel like she did do that to some extent, like she learned from that. However, she just used some language in this book, and then it was super white feministy, like just causing chaos for the sake of chaos. A character here was fighting for power without really talking about how she was going to use that power to make people's lives better, how to improve people's lives, and she's just making everything worse. And I'm going, I need a plan or something here. If you want more, I have a wrap-up, I have a vlog. The vlog probably has more information because I go into like specific detail on some of the word choices that this woman uses. Question number 6 is, what is the biggest surprise of the year? I could say Legendborn because, like, I was not expecting it. I mean, I was expecting it to be good, but I was not expecting to be blown away the way that I was with Legendborn. But I have been talking about Legendborn for months. So let's talk about some other ones. The Song of the Crimson Flower by Julie C. Dow is one that I want to highlight. I absolutely adored this. So this is connected to Julie C. Dow's It's over there somewhere. No, it's not. It's right here. Forest of a Thousand Lanterns universe. I was not expecting this to work as well as it did for me. I was worried about certain things. Like, I was worried that it was going to be one of those things where he's been pining after her entire life, and because he's such a good person, he deserves the woman. And I was happily surprised. I loved it. It was so good. She does such a good job of building the world, building the romance, building this relationship, but in such a short amount of time. Like, for as tiny, as skinny as this book is, there is a lot packed in here. She is very efficient with what she is doing in this story, so I highly, highly recommend it. The other one that I want to mention is Such a Fun Age by Kiley Reid. I already knew this was going to be good. I was not expecting it to grab me like it did. It just, like, I finished this as an audiobook in 2 days. That's not usually how things go with audiobooks. Usually, I have so many other things that I'm listening to or watching, so I only get a little bit of audiobook time a day. Nope, I just, like, put this on and it was the only thing I wanted to listen to. I was very angry for a lot of this book, but it was so, so good, and I highly recommend, like, if you are looking for a good, hard-hitting contemporary that's just gonna, like, get ya, this is a good one to watch, to read. Read is the word. Book 2. Question number 7 is, like, who is a new debut, new to you author that you love now, a new favorite author? I am going to say Kat Cho, who wrote The Wicked Fox and Vicious Spirits. Now, I have known about Kat for a while. I have been following her channel. I have been following the podcast that she is on, Write or Die. I did not, like, I was expecting to enjoy these books. I was not expecting to absolutely fall in love with this series. I just, like, this first book is just perfection. Mwah. It has all of the tropes, it has angst, it has banter, it has mythology in the modern world. This one is my favorite of the two. I have a review on it. Go check that out. All of that good stuff. Just, these are so good. Read them. Question number 8 is, who is your newest fictional crush? I don't do that. Really? I have a total of like four fictional crushes. In the entire time that I have been consuming fiction, I have a total of 4 fictional crushes. The last one was added last year when I first read the Expanse series, and I have not added any new ones. Question number 9 is going to be a little easier to answer because that is, who is your newest favorite character? I am going to have to go, I have a couple. Number 1 on the list is going to be Cordelia Carstairs from the Last Hours series. I want everything happy to happen to her, and that's not how Cassandra Clare works during her books. I am suffering. I adore Cordelia. I love how just proactive she is in her story and her fate and what's going on. I love how much she loves the people around her, and just given the entire situation that's going on with her and who she likes, I really like how she handles that. I really like the fact that she is not, like, she could be a certain way about this situation, and she is not. She is wonderful and gracious and very, 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 like, self-sacrificing, and I need her to know some things that we know, but she doesn't know, and I'm fine. Perfectly fine. Nothing wrong at all. I also want to mention Lee Malera from the Heroes series. This is the second book. I could get that one. The first book is, we're not going to get that. We're not trying that right. I just really enjoy Lee. I really appreciate her. This is kind of, I read the first book a while ago, like before this year. A long time ago. And then I reread it last year. And I don't think I really appreciated her or Taro, the 2 main characters of the series, fully until this book, and I just am in love with them now. Question number 10 is, what is a book that made you cry? I don't cry. Question number 6 is, what is a book that made you happy? And I'm going to go with I'll Be the One by Lila Lee. This is about Sky. She is in this contest to be a K-pop star. She is competing. Why did I say that so weird? She is competing in both the song and dance portions of this K-pop contest, and she is facing a lot of pressure to just be skinny. She is obviously, if you couldn't tell from the cover, not a skinny girl. She is plus size. She is fine with the fact that she is plus size. She just accepts that that is what her body is. So this is Sunshine in a Book. It has a beautiful, cute love story. It has a girl that is standing up for herself and gets to stick it to people who deserve it, and you will leave this book with just a heart full, brimming with sunshine and rainbows and joy, okay? Question number 12 is, what is the most beautiful book you have bought this year? Oh, that doesn't count. I'm gonna give a quick shout out to my copies of the Illumicrate editions of the Infernal Devices. Look at how, hold on, I'm not even gonna bother look at y'all. Look at how pretty these are. Y'all, that's Clockwork Princess, because I can't do things in order. That's Clockwork Prince. And Clockwork Angel, which is the first book. There is an unboxing somewhere, but technically, like, look at that. Technically, I bought them last year. So I guess they don't count. I am gonna shout out what is a couple of really pretty books. One is We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faizal. I enjoyed this so much. There's a wrap-up or review, something about it, I don't know, but like it just is a pretty cover. The most beautiful book that I have bought this year, I think, has got to be The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He. Just like, you've got this stunning cover, and then you open it up, and it's got these end pages. Do you see that? Do you see that? Like, it's stunning. We are going to try and answer this final question as quickly as possible because, well, it's a stack of books. We got a little something out of everything. So obviously the main, like, most important things that I need to finish are the books for the Avengers Initiative Reading Challenge. I have our July, August, and September, or we've picked out our July, August, and September books. We have A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne Brown for July. We have The Midnight Library by Matt Haig for August. And then for September, we have The Things She's Seen by August and Ezekiel Quay-Molina. I'm sorry, I can't look at books. Anyways, I'm not really going to go into what these are about because I will be talking about them in depth in later videos. Also, I have some books from my series I need to finish, or books I need to read. I think this is from my spring TBR, which I have touched almost no books from. I need to continue on with my Shadowhunters reread. I've been reading them chronological order. At this point, I am probably going to get to this series by the time Chain of Iron comes out, and so I will have read all of them in chronological order. Long story short, if I can just get through the Mortal Instruments by the end of the year, I will be happy. I also need to reread or read all of the collector's books. I'm way behind. Like, I bought this when it came out because it has questions I need answered in it, and then I just forgot that this, well, I did not forget because it sits on my shelf and I look at it and I go, I really need to read that, but I really want to reread the first 3 books, and it's been so long since I reread the first book, I think I may need to just reread the first book again. I'm not mad about it. I love this. It's just, it is a hard, dark, twisted, messed up, like you will wonder if the author is okay book. Oh, but it's so good. Like, trigger warning for literally everything. Like, literally, almost literally everything. Obviously, I would like to read The Wife Upstairs. I have plans for that. I also want to read The Ivies by Alexa Dunn. This is about college admissions. She wrote it because of the college admissions scandal and because she worked in college admissions for a while there. So that is the mid-year book freakout tag. Let me know in the comments if you are feeling chatty, if you are so inclined. Let me know, what book do you still plan on? What are you trying to get to by the end of the year? What's on your list? What's one of your goals? Talk to me about that. If you are not feeling chatty, you can just leave me a stack of books emoji because we don't feel like being creative right now. It's fine. We'll just leave the stack of books emoji if you don't feel chatty. If you want to let me know that you watched to the end of the video, do it. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, there are going to be other videos over here. If you would like to support my channel, you can watch those as well. And if it turns out you like those other videos and you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That would be fantastic of you. That is it for now, my friends. Happy reading, and I will see you later when we will talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye! Is it really necessary to be flying your plane while I'm trying to film?